Thank you very much. This is always a pleasure to have a chance to talk to a number of groups. We're happy that the audience will have senior people in management and in leadership. The audience will have students, we hope, and faculty members. And I was thinking, would it be like if my company, and let's assume I run a big company, wanted to hire someone to do our marketing, and we will take a person who was trained in marketing back in 1960. Well, the first thing I would observe is that that would be a mistake. 1960 marketers were very creative. I mean, can go back to any of the great campaigns and see that marketing was something big and wonderful and special. But I wouldn't hire that person. Well, maybe I would hire someone who was trained in marketing in the year 2000. No, not yet. No. You see, I wrote a paper recently called My 50 Years of Observing the Changes in Marketing, and they have been spectacular. One of the first things I'm going to ask of a new recruit for my marketing department is, do you know transformative marketing? Now, of course, that person would be puzzled because our book, which put together the idea of transformative marketing, was not really read or available at the time. So we're making the point that marketing is a skill set that has been improving over the years. In fact, every so often, we put out a new book just to bring to the attention of management the many changes that occurred in the last 2 years. So what I want to do with my time with you is say a few things about the background that led to transformative marketing. And then V. Kumar will take you right into the whole idea, along with the 8 big new tools that marketers need if they're going to be successful. Okay, let's start with the following. It turns out that making a marketing many years ago was very simple. I had a product, I had to distribute it somewhere, and I had to hire 2 groups. One would be an advertising agency, because most companies were production companies and they didn't know about advertising. Then I would have to hire some salespeople. And of course, most marketing had to do, and I would also have to set the price. So marketing is basically simple, but let's go on. There's a thing that is called the marketing mix. And the marketing mix is often called the 4 Ps. What are they? It simply says that in planning anything, you're going to start with product, you're going to price it, you're going to promote it, and you're going to place it somewhere. So those 4 things. Now, actually, there are more things in the planning of a campaign than the 4 Ps. So here's a new view, and it's not the last one, but it's a new view of the marketing mix. Marketing mix is the set of tools used by management to create value. So what creates value? We say 7 things at least. Now look, the 4 Ps are still there. There's product. But we want to add service. What good is it to sell a product that can't be understood even by the consumer? So we have to give a set of services as well. And by the way, if we're lucky and have established a strong brand, the brand itself adds an increment of success and value. People who use our product because of the brand, it makes it clear that they may even be a member of a brand community of others who use the same brand. So brand is another variable. Again, price. But price is not enough. We recognize that most people are looking for a sale. They need to be given a discount or 2 for the price of 1. So we have to have a whole set of incentives, maybe even including warranties and guarantees that go with price to make more value for the customer. And then the last two, we used to call one of them promotion, but we'll call it more broadly communication, much of which has to do with demonstrating value to the potential consumer. And then we have to really run a very good distribution system. Namely, it's not enough to have the product. It must be available at the time that the consumer wants it. All right, that's called the marketing mix. And that's evolving all the time. Let's move on. And if I can move my screen on, good. This is a picture of where we're going. Now, don't get scared. Don't say that we're turning over marketing to a set of gears that will, well, in a sense, aren't we trying to turn marketing over to AI, artificial intelligence? But even there, let's make a distinction. Do we want marketing to be worked on by humans? That's possibility one. Or only by machines? That's possibility two. Or humans and machines working together in partnership to create great value for the target consumers. And I think we're going to settle with that we're at an age now that there's a partnership between AI and the human mind. And we're not going to get all the way where everything's done by machines. I quote in this slide John Maynard Keynes, and by the way, I spelled it wrong. It's Keynes. And he was the great economist who challenged Milton Friedman and others and had ideas to take us out of the Great Depression. But he made another observation. He says, marketing will get more scientific. Economics will get more scientific. We'll reach a point where none of us have to be in business. The businesses will be run, and the rest of us have to face the problem of what to do with our time, and so on. Maybe we'll be in business 15 hours a week just to make sure that everything's going well. Well, that's a dream. And you might read more about his view of where the good life finally will show up. Okay. The real question is, what are we talking about? Just products? Are we talking about commodities, basically? Like I sell cement. How can I sell more cement? Or are we turning the cement into maybe a building, a good? Well, so we're going to talk about goods. And now I made the point, services are part. It must be supplemented and added. Now more people are saying, we're not really going to succeed by just transactional thinking. We are supposed to be creating experiences for people that have transformed their lives. In fact, Joe Pine has been our marketing expert on creating wonderful experiences. And when you talk about creating value, in other words, that creates more value than just picking up a box of cereal and eating it. How to make that a real experience. So Joe Pine is into transformations. A lot of people are. By the way, he said in his book, isn't it marvelous that you can go from being a caterpillar to becoming a butterfly? That really works. That is true. Well, so can we help modern managers to move to being really transformed in their capabilities? Let's move on. Marketing is an alphabet soup. We all say that it's about satisfying and delighting customers, but look at the alphabets. Someone's going to say to you, well, have you prepared the 4 A's? What do you mean by that? Well, you're not going to have a market unless there are people who are aware of you. They're able to get to you. There's accessibility. They really want to get to you because you're very acceptable to them, and they even have the money to buy it. So don't go after any market that is missing any of the 4 A's. It won't work. Now, let's assume you've found a market which has the 4 A's. That's where you as management create the product, the price, the place, and promotion, or even the more sophisticated marketing mix I talked about. Don't forget the 4 C's. I mean, it's your company, your target customers, all the people who collaborate with you, your suppliers, distributors, your employees, and of course, you're facing strong competitors, the 4 Cs. And you don't go after any whole market. You want to go after the parts of the market that you are equipped to do the best job for. So you segment, target, and position. And then another set of A's come up. Well, this is the soup of marketing. Namely, we ask whether we can get someone who's unaware of us to move through a set of 5 stages. Become aware. Secondly, find us appealing. Third, ask for us. Ask questions, really. Not ask for the product, but get answers to questions about the product. If they're satisfied, they will act. And if they are so satisfied, they'll repeatedly buy the product and become advocates. And then just to end with that picture you all know about marketing, I sometimes just say there's a process, and the process is marketing research is the beginning. I mean, don't be in any market where you haven't got numbers about the people and the demographics and all that. And marketing research then will show you have to segment and target and position. And after you do that homework, you will know, hopefully, what target market, TM, you really want to go after. And then you have to create a statement about what the value is that they will get from buying your brand. It's called the value proposition. And then it's backed by a whole MP, marketing plan, which you run through and implement. That I stands for, you could have a great plan that is poorly implemented. You don't want that. But you implement it well, and to be sure you implemented it well, you look for control signals. And then, by the way, if you did not reach your goals, work backwards. Something failed along that chain to prevent you from hitting your profit goals. Okay, that's the basics of marketing, but let's move on. Every 2 years, approximately, I and another group have been issuing an interim statement of the new things that have happened in marketing. So what we meant by marketing 1.0, if you go down that column, it says there was a time when marketing was simply to sell some products because the Industrial Revolution had already occurred. We wanted to sell it to everyone. It was mass marketing. And our work was some product development, product specification. It was a very functional and transactional view. Then some companies started to say, let's not focus just on making a product. Let's focus on the customers who might want the product or need it. So that second column was about Marketing 2.0, and you can see that it's more sophisticated. But then we went to Marketing 3.0 to say, marketing is the creation and the communication and the delivery of values. I mean, that's why you exist. You're able to make things better for others who you serve. We could have stopped there, but we ended up writing a book called Marketing 4.0 because a digital revolution had occurred. We moved from analog to digital thinking and systems. And that made marketing more efficient. We can collect data and organize it in a way that we will know much more about our target markets and so on. We wrote 2 years later, Marketing 5.0, where we wanted to say, hey, in addition to digital is AI. This is going to be another whole revolution put on the system. And then we finally released Marketing 6.0, which had the characteristics of virtual work too. Actually, I'm seeing you virtually. I'm not in the audience standing at a platform and speaking. So the whole immersive kind of thing, maybe in fact there will be other realities created where we do our marketing. How about creating a metaverse where we could have many people sign up and become part of it, and they wear their apparel, and you don't know who they are, but you have commerce going on in a metaverse. Anyways, this chart is simply to put together the fact that every 2 years we want to take a look at what is new in marketing. Now, let's take this little market idea of the 5 A's that we're trying to identify potential customers and get them to be aware of us. Okay, aware, and then we have to be appealing. They will ask us some questions. If they're satisfied, they'll buy first time, and if they're very satisfied, they will become advocates. And all the things underneath these 5 are just stages of our own work in marketing. And we have to do some advertising. We have to have content, real content that we send out to people. Then we have to do some direct marketing, just email marketing, whatever would be the form. And then we're going to have some salespeople come in on big accounts. And we're going to maybe multiply our distribution channels. So that's something you're all familiar with. This is an interesting chart here. So there's the 5 A's again. Watch this. Let's say you're a startup company. First thing you might do is some public relations just to get people to know that someone is starting up. Then you may use the radio or TV or print to say more about you. Then maybe word of mouth will start up. Now, these are called touch points. They surround the 5 A's. Do you want to use a banner ad? Would it pay to spend money on a big banner talking about you and your new product? Why don't you establish a website? Look, so many people are on social media. You better get your ad on Facebook, on Instagram, contact centers. So I can fill this in and say, wow, marketing is quite a project, isn't it? There's so many touch points. And if we're missing at a key touch point, we don't get the sale. We not only have to be at a relevant touch point, we have to be the best at that touch point. Well, we can say more about that later, but this is all background. And now I'm going to use 2 more ideas, and then we're going to turn over to transformative marketing. This slide is how companies are adapting to AI. We do know this, that AI is so good that it is the superior player in any game of chess. As a matter of fact, we found out that they can also outperform the Go masters, who are human beings who know Go, which is a complicated game, but the AI will make them will win the game. So AI can also make images now, and AI can produce videos in much shorter time, at least preliminary drafts of all of this in a much shorter time than an ad agency in the past could do it. So it should be something that everyone in the marketing department of a company should know about, how to use what is called actually Chat GPT. We make a distinction between getting a lot of AI in your business to manage a lot of your resources and a specific brand. Let's call that general AI, but there's a thing called generative AI, where it is we're able to quickly produce drafts, images, videos, etc. And we want everyone in our marketing department, if not in our company, to know how to easily use Chat GPT or some form of it. Now, another thing as we go into AI is your customers often might see a new product in, let's say, a Walmart, and there's no one around that product. There's just a lot of, it's a table with a lot of new product on it. And then it says to us that we could ask any questions about the product. They could have put a live salesperson there to answer questions, but or just talk. This is like talking to Alexis or talking to Siri. So the chat bot has been developed by knowing all the questions people ask, and in a conversational way, not a human being, but the chat bot will answer the questions they have about the product before they pick it up and try to buy it. Now, a next step is to make sure you automate as much of your processes, marketing processes, as possible. Get those clinical steps and all the data collecting and all that. Get it in a fast form that it's available very quickly. Automate as much marketing as you can. Automate the process of even buying media space. Because when good media space appears, you have to be quick to be sure you get your share of the best media space. And in the meantime, you've been collecting, hopefully, a lot of data on your target consumers, what they read, where they shop, what motives they may have for buying your product or not buying it. But we take that data and we then apply what is called machine learning. And it will hopefully produce some very interesting insights that would not visible to the naked eye about what really is driving much of our sales. Now, occasionally, we're also asked by our target market about what they should choose. Let's say even a movie. I watch a lot of movies. Knowing enough about me and my tastes, can you recommend the best movies? So that's all about some companies setting up a recommendation engine. To give you another example, it would happen with the tourism. Yes, I want to go to Venice. What do you recommend that I could see in just 2 days in Venice? Well, if it knows a lot about me, it will probably get me into the right museums and other sites that I want to see. In the meantime, we have to make sure we're improving the sales system with AI. We should be able to know when reminders should be sent out at the right time and to the right people, indicating maybe even a different price, maybe a discount. We can use it for knowing when we should do upselling or cross-selling. If the system is really good. And the AI can help write a lot of marketing content because we do have to send out copy. And the copy is our messages, our persuasive messages on social media and email and blog posts and so on and so forth. And AI can identify the most persuadable clients and choose the best messages to send via chat, phone, and other means. Okay, so all of this is about not just digital, but add to it that AI is coming in to make marketing more persuasive and profitable in the hands of top marketing people. Well, that brings us to transformative marketing. What is transformative marketing? Well, we could say a lot about it, and we'll say a lot about it, but in the end, we also have to say it's a set of new tools that have been maybe available in some form, but not in the full form. And the tools are AI, which I mentioned, which I sometimes call general AI, and then there's generalized AI, which is the chat GPT type. Machine learning. IoT is the Internet of Things. And you know it by all the sensors that guide our temperature in a room, or turn on or turn off our air conditioning and so on. We're going to be a world full of sensors set up to accommodate changes. The Metaverse, we think, are full of opportunities. Blockchain has to be understood as a way of recording purchases and sales of different things in an open way. Drones, boy, maybe they're going to start being used to deliver our packages. We'll say more about that. And of course, robots are being developed all the time to make products more accessible. So to talk about transformative marketing, let's turn over now to my colleague V. Kumar, who will take you on his road trip through the tools of transformative marketing. So I turn it over to you, V. Kumar.
Thank you, Phil. If you can stop sharing, I'll share. Okay. I'm thinking all of you can see the screen. Thank you, Phil, for a great introduction and a great journey that you took us through the evolution of marketing to transformative marketing. And what is transformative marketing? We'll start. This journey has already begun, so we shouldn't be lagging behind. But if you look at what Phil said, just to summarize his talk, he walked us through this marketing 1.0 up until marketing 5.0 and 6.0 also. And what we call 6.0, he called 6.0 as immersive, and which is part of our transformative marketing. And I want to spend like 30 seconds on this definition, because what it is saying is that, yes, there is a primary marketing function, but why is it becoming a transformative marketing function? That's because we are able to combine, as we define, new age technologies with human insights. Both are needed, and to revolutionize how businesses and customers interact, to create personalized as well as immersive experiences, to engage customers with superior value offerings over competition. So we are also bringing that dimension in exchange for profits for the company. Yes, they have to survive, and also benefits to all stakeholders, the community, the society, the government, everybody, all stakeholders, we see it. So it's a comprehensive definition of what marketing has evolved to transformative marketing. But the question is, why was this necessary? There are three conditions that we have to lay out as to why transformative marketing journey has begun. First, there has to be a state of tension, in the sense that, what do we do now? Like Blockbuster video, famous example. Do we still stay in the video rental business, or do we move to streaming business? And they stuck on with that and filed for bankruptcy and vanished. Like GE, Jeff Immelt always says that we are in a constant state of tension. So whenever we go through a proposed change, we treat it as a matter of life and death. So unless and until we treat like that, we won't transform ourselves. So that's the GE philosophy, to create tension for all stakeholders. The second condition is the context independence that you need. And what we say here is that understanding customer routines, customer changes, what are their needs, and the changes you're going to make in the company. Is it just at one store you're making the change, or you're going to make the change at a whole chain, like Walmart chain, all the stores, or just one store? So the context also will tell us, is it transformative, or is it just local? Example of transformative in the context independence is the fact that you have role of technology like CarPlay or Android Auto. They bring together service partners like GPS and automakers, as well as stakeholders, the apps and the insurance companies, to provide valuable offerings. They all partner together. And so there is a platform, and there is a service provider, there is a user. So this is the way the context independence comes. So traditionally, a manufacturer selling to the customer, maybe through an intermediary, is all changing into multiple players coming into the marketplace. And then the third condition is that it's time specific, meaning that anything we do, like we saw marketing 1.0 to 6.0, they all evolved over time. Similarly, what we call now as transformative marketing, if you look at major shifts in marketing, they all typically had a lifespan of 20 years max. So today, where we are, and one example of time specific is today's headline news is that cable TV lost 1.6 million customers in the last quarter, and that's deepening. This is inevitable because people now, customers want to see ad-free programs. And Netflix is offering, any streaming device, they're all offering. You can watch it when you want to watch it and how long you want to watch it with no interference. This is time specific. So you would see that currently the journey that we are in, integrating new age technologies with human insights to help marketing is began, and we expect to see this for the next 20 years, playing a major role. So as Dr. Kotler introduced us to these 8 new age technologies, I want us to deep dive into each one of them. But to do that, he gave a nice introduction, but I'm giving you so that you have at home a formal definition or meaning of what AI is, because there's a lot of confusion. Is AI same as Gen AI or machine learning? So what are the differences and similarities? That's a tutorial we won't get into, but in general, in relation to marketing, we say that AI can train machines to accomplish a lot of specific tasks by processing large amounts of data. So we see that we used to build a lot of statistical models using likelihood function, now all replaced by this machine learning and AI tools. And now Gen AI can take these results and create text images, videos, so that whatever we need, we just say it and it produces. We'll deep dive into that. We have the machine learning. It's trained to perform specific tasks, how to predict a FICO score for an individual. And then you have Metaverse, where I love tennis. I love to play with Djokovic or Federer. I cannot. So I get into this Metaverse world and play with them and even beat them. So that is Metaverse, giving you the luxury of enjoying what you would normally not do. And the IoT devices, as we have it, like I wear Apple Watch, which constantly tells me my heartbeat, blood pressure, everything, every aspect of it, which is very good. Then we'll get into marketing examples and robots, and how they are like, I'll give you numerous examples of robots that are replacing human functions, or at least helping them perform better. And then you have drones and the blockchain. So let's deep dive into this in the limited time we have. And the reason why this transformation began is because of the digitalization in marketing. That is, what does that mean? It means that we have now the ability to track customer behavior and preferences. We also have the ability to automate tasks. And finally, we also allow businesses to create more engaging and interactive content. This is where Gen AI comes and plays a major role here as to what it is and what can it do. So let's look at each of these technologies, new age technologies. If you look at AI, it's a generic word now in terms of what all humans can do, it can do, but better. So if that is the case, let's look at what are some of the examples of AI, which Dr. Kotler mentioned, that we have Alexa, we have chatbot, we have self-driving cars. In fact, today's headline news was that in San Francisco, the Waymo self-driving cars are phenomenally working, and Tesla is getting into that in a major way. And the biggest fear is that drivers want control of it. Even if there is an accident, they want to feel that they caused it as opposed to a machine causing it. But the humorous aspect of today's article was that when you sit at the back seat and see the self-driving cars, the steering keeps turning, and they all feel that either Jesus is driving or a ghost is driving. So how do you overcome that fear factor is something that they were saying. So let's get into the 5 marketing functions that each of these new age technologies can deliver. First need is understanding customer needs. And the Stitch Fix is a great example, uses styling algorithms that pick out the best clothes for their clients based on stated preference and needs. You just state it, and it'll come and tell you, based on your usage pattern and your preferences, this is ideal for you. And they do it very well. Another thing that with keys, what Dr. Kotler mentioned, all of us will work only 15 hours a week. Here is another evidence that most 60% of the occupations will have at least 30% of their work automated, meaning that they'll work less and less. So new job roles creation will be very much aligned with the use of new age technologies and the deployment of new age technologies. Then you have the designing marketing mix strategies. That's the third marketing function that we need to address, which is eBay using customer information to provide precise and relevant search results, with their models. And then fourth is driving customer engagement. Starbucks, we know what happened to the CEO had to recently let go of the CEO, and a new Chipotle CEO was hired. But what was the reason? Because the engagement was going down. But recently, Starbucks said that to increase the engagement, we are going to have EV charging stations in our Starbucks stores so that people can come and charge it for 20 minutes. In the 20 minutes, they can just have coffee or snacks and then walk out. The car will be charged and ready to go another 300 miles. So driving customer engagement is a critical one. And then the designing digital strategies is that using IBM Watson, McCormick Foods are developing new spice variations that are driven by monitoring customer feedback and social media. So you have all of this, that 5 functions, and we walk you through each of this. If you take Gen AI, what is that new age technology is helping us with? In fact, for our book, Transformative Marketing, me and Dr. Kotler went to DALL-E and said, give us an ideal book cover for Transformative Marketing. It should have all these ingredients. And it developed a fantastic cover. Everybody loved it. But the publisher says, no, you have to keep it simple, although there's no copyright issue also there. But that's where DALL-E does it. Sura, can produce videos. You would have seen it on YouTube. And then ChatGPT version 4.0 is there. So all of this, if you combine the capabilities, you would see Amazon uses this Gen AI to really understand what customers are writing about their product review and identifying which is a fake review, which is not, and so on. And then you have firm capabilities. Levi Strauss uses this Gen AI usage to communicate effectively with all their teams, both the distribution teams, the product development teams, the sourcing teams, and so on. Then in terms of designing marketing mix strategies, Uber Freight uses this tool to support transportation teams with very minute detail, tactical views to the complex strategic problems. And then how customer engagement is driven by Gen AI, you would see that Amazon uses Gen AI to make it easier for sellers to create effective product titles, bullet points, and descriptions. Everything very precise. What you need is what you get and see. And in terms of digital strategies, Cadbury's India did something phenomenal. You have regional variations, you have multiple sports played, but how do you take one ad, one Cadbury consumers consuming that concept into all of this, creating 130,000 social media ads to suit specific local stores, regional variations, and specific sporting activities. So you have this, and then if you get into machine learning, how is it helping marketing? Again, you have lead customization, accurate sales forecasting, and most importantly, what is the next best product to sell? As Dr. Kotler mentioned, upsell, cross-sell strategies. 15 years ago, we built all these models for companies using statistical models, writing our own likelihood functions. Today, it's being done very efficiently and effectively by our tools now. Understanding customer needs, where machine learning is deployed in heavy use. You can see FICO scores, which is credit rating scores, where machine learning is being used. American Express uses not only machine learning and data analytics to detect fraud. You have that there. And then Netflix, designing marketing mix strategies. We watch a movie, the title is there, but what should be the image that will entice customers to glue into watching that movie? So the image also, the artwork of movie titles based on machine learning algorithms, they're doing very well in addition to the content management. And then in terms of customer engagement, you have Disney, Amazon, Netflix, and Google are on the forefront right now in delivering personalized experiences in physical and online. So while I'm touching briefly this in the book, we deep dive into each of these examples. So you can get more information from our book there. In terms of digital strategies, Burberry uses machine learning using loyalty program data, because that's very critical to get everybody enrolled, opt into our marketing program to develop personalized digital and in-store shopping experiences. You see that. Then coming to Metaverse, I'm one of the biggest fan of this, as I mentioned to you, how I use it. In terms of Gucci and Balenciaga, both they use virtual showrooms and allow clients to peruse and engage merchandise in an incredibly lifelike three-dimensional setting. It looks like you're actually in a store trying everything. And if that is the case, you don't have to leave the house. You can even upload your image and wear it and see it. You have Ralph Lauren in terms of film capabilities. They launched a digital clothing and accessories collection in the Fortnite item shop, which inspired a physical clothing line itself, the way people were using it, what they were asking for, and so on. And in terms of marketing mix strategies, Nike offers virtual sneakers, clothing, and accessories within the virtual world. You can wear it and feel how comfortable it is. You can also put pressure on it and see whether you feel softer sole or harder sole. All of those you see. And then driving customer engagement, you would see Hanwha Life, which created a product called Hannah, a virtual financial advisor, constantly advising you to represent the insurance providers' digital initiatives in the metaverse. And then you have designing digital strategies like Nike using non-fungible tokens for digital goods in its dot swoosh platform. And if you just go and experience this, you would see that it is really transforming your experience. Therefore, firms are transforming their marketing aspect of it. Go through IoT, in terms of Fitbit devices or Apple Watches. You have smart locks like August, Friday, and Wise. Allow remote access control reserved for authorized members of a household. In terms of firm capabilities, IoTs, Honeywell and Verizon can host connected pieces of hardware and electronic grids constantly. Even in our home, all our devices are connected through our Wi-Fi. It's an IoT device you have. And designing marketing mix strategies, both Burger King and McDonald's put a geofence, and all their promotions are controlled within that area. So here is again another great example of localized promotions for a national or international chain. Then you have driving customer engagement. Tesla, the best part of Tesla is that you don't have to leave the home. All software updates, and there is no need to go for engine oil change. Nothing, unless you have a flat tire, there is no need to go for any service. That's the phenomenal that every customer engages so much. And you have digital strategies with IoTs, which is Nike uses sensored equipments, which we talked about it, but it can do a lot more things. And we'll get into that in the book, as you go through that. And in terms of robots, I'm really fascinated by this as to what all we have seen. I go into Seoul Airport, I don't know the language, but there is a robot that goes around, and I keep talking to it and asking for where is the vegetarian food, where is the gate, which is the terminal, how do I get, answers everything. And we put that picture, me talking to the robot, in the book also we have. Understanding customer needs, you have Amazon uses more than 100,000 wheel flat top robots, revisiting firm capabilities of Amazon, Walmart, Google, Tesla. All of them are completely now transforming into using robots in their warehouse and manufacturing areas. Marketing mix strategies, you have giant Schnucks markets, Broad Branch Market, and Walmart all have implemented robot to see the results quickly, replenishing products in the shelves and so on. And this is Pepper. It's phenomenal. It's the world's first personal robot that recognizes human emotions and interacts and engages customers in a personalized way. If you're sad, it'll come and talk to you and say, why are you sad? You just tell it, like, I'm not feeling well. So you have Pepper, transforming our experiences. You have digital strategies like ShopBots, BizRate, and NextTag let shoppers compare prices, offerings, and suggestions for best place to order the product and how soon you can get it. And get into drones, it's even more fascinating. that what all it can do. Phantom was the first ready-to-fly pre-assembled drone in the market, which relies on continuous innovation to introduce drone features that serve customer needs. And UPS, based in Atlanta, you have the Flight Forward, a dedicated drone delivery, is the first organization to be certified by Federal Aviation Authority to be operated as a drone airline. And you have Amazon and Google already using all of these drone for deliveries in controlled areas. So very soon that's going to be prevalent. And then Intel used 500 drones. This is phenomenal to power a portion of Lady Gaga's Super Bowl 51 halftime show. So how is that like cannot be phenomenal? It's just escalating to that level of experience. And then you have Red Bull and Coca-Cola using drones to film publicity videos, are played across various digital platforms to resonate with their audience. And this is Coca-Cola can now produce one ad played across 200 countries to give a customized feeling to each of those country customers. And finally, you have blockchain, which is like, it's still in its nascent stage. That's because more government regulations have to come in and replace the traditional processes with automated process. But what we see here is Carrefour uses blockchain technology to ensure the traceability of all the products, including chicken. De Beers, in terms of diamond, developed Tracer, a blockchain, platform to successfully track a diamond through the value chain. And then you have designing marketing strategies where Walmart, Porsche, De Beers have accepted geo blockchain to obtain data that all transacting members agree, meaning who is buying what, where, when. And you have customer engagement. Seller is a blockchain solution that allows wine buyers to verify the product's origin. No more like we can say that it's manufactured in Spain or France, but manufacturing locally. It traces and shows clearly the origin. And then digital strategist Louis Vuitton here uses blockchain to prove the authenticity of high-priced goods and trace the product path from the raw materials to the end. Phenomenal capabilities. These 5 marketing functions are the reasons why marketing is becoming more effective and more efficient. And most importantly, there is a criticism today that we are not able to demonstrate the ROI of artificial intelligence adoption. With these marketing functions, we are able to show that both efficiency and effectiveness goes up. As a result, ROI is going up. So if you have to take one company as an example, doing all of these 8 technologies, or employing all of these 8 technologies, you look at Amazon, it engages the moment you interact using Alexa, to order the products. Then Gen AI is used for developing product review synopsis and in helping set up seller description pages. Then machine learning is brought into use to understand user preferences and incorporate them into product or content suggestions. Then you have Metaverse to create virtual stores. It happened actually in 5 Indian cities where users can shop, socialize, and win prizes. Then IoT through Amazon Web Services is used to provide a wide range of solutions to integrate devices and data collection for all industrial, consumer, and commercial applications. And then robots are used in warehouses to identify and retrieve products. And then drones are used for airdropping packages for customers. And then finally, blockchain through Amazon Managed Blockchain is offered as a service to businesses to build blockchain-based application. And if there is one company that's doing this now, everybody should be joining the bandwagon. So if you want to look beyond the digital frontier of new age technologies, the dashboards are going to look like this. So fascinating, because all you're going to do is sit in front of your machine, computer, laptop, a tablet, and then deploy this tool, Sura.ai or any of those AI tools, or Perplexity.ai, and then you're going to be able to generate everything that you want to see without much effort. And in closing, if I can summarize that, firms now are facing a major need to deploy new age technologies. One, to embrace the digital frontier. Second, to make meaningful connections, because in the meaningful connections, you have both interconnectivity as well as discreteness existing. Both, when you connect, always you fear that, what if they get to know everything about me? But that's where discreteness also plays a major role. Very exciting time to be in marketing with this new age technology. And then we are converged new age technologies and marketing. There's a big convergence going on because of personalized offerings. And I was fortunate to work with Google to develop many of these personalized offerings and write about it a few years ago in California Management Review. But many such examples are captured in our book that Dr. Kotler and I were fortunate to write. And we profusely thank you, not only for your time, but also in terms of your encouragement, for us to offer this webinar. And also, hopefully you'll read the book and give us feedback. Thank you so much. It's an honor and pleasure to be with you all.
Well, thank you so much, VK, Professor VK, and Professor Kotler. As referenced, the book is phenomenal, Transformative Marketing, Combining New Technologies and Human Insights. Highly recommend the book. As you can say, I have about 50 questions myself, but we are kind of closing on the top of the hour here. So I would love to just invite folks to stay on for a couple minutes if we have extra time, and if not, no worries. I'd love to sprinkle through a couple questions, Professor Kotler and Professor VK, because there are a couple questions that kind of came up a couple times. One question had to do with the skills for marketing 6.0. What are the skills marketing or other professionals need to do to skill up in this new marketing 6.0 world? Professor Kotler or Professor VK?
Well, let me just say that 6.0 is a book in itself, written to actually, it does not cover the transformative 8 things that we have been talking about, but it was to familiarize people with what is called the immersive technology. 6.0 is about all these virtual things we can do. A woman who wants to try some makeup can try it virtually without actually, she could actually think she's picked some color and she put it on her face and she can see what it looks like, or she chose a dress and she can see what it would look like on her and all that. So that's what 6.0 is about. But here's a point I want to really make. If I were a company having heard this, I would say, well, we're not going to immediately be able to teach all of these skills to our marketers. Which one is the most, if I can only choose one, which one should I choose? That isn't the right question, however. I think that a company should get the chief marketing officer should get its people together and say, here's a set of books, we have some copies and so on. Let's every week meet for 1.5 hour, starting with the first idea of general AI. Are we using it at all? And where are we using it? Where could we use it? Second week, let's talk about ChatGPT. You all read about it. Are we using it? If not, should we? How? So basically, if the question is, I can't use all those things, which one should I use? The question is, all of them should be talked about in your company. And then you will know the ones to get firm on and use. Thank you.
Yes, that's fantastic. And just to let folks know, we will be emailing you the recording and placing on YouTube, as well as capturing all the questions that we won't be able to cover today. We'll spread them to Professor Kotler and Professor VK. Thank you for that feedback, Professor. Another question was around trusting this process. And you imagine the human behavior of trusting, that was brought up a couple of times. Has that been brought up in your research, Professor VK or Professor Kotler, trusting the human nature of all these different AI, generative AI, etc.? What's percolated with the trust factor?
Phil, should I go?
Yeah,
go
ahead, VK.
Okay, so one of the biggest problems, when people were writing product reviews, the industry faced is that people were faking the reviews. So first way to control that is they said you need to scan the UPC code of the product you bought upload it along with the reviews. Even then, there are a lot of fake reviews coming. So now today we have developed a Gen AI tool to detect fake reviews and clearly say, and we have done that with the product reviews. We are now going to release it with the tourism industry, that they say this is a place where you can really go wine and dine and have great time when it's a dumpster. And so we can clearly cross-check and detect this the algorithm is detecting that. Very soon that paper will be released. So we are getting more and more efficient. Yes, it is always the case when you introduce a new product, new technology, it's not always the grass is greener. And in that race, don't take it as a promotion, but in that regard, like me, Dr. Kotler, and a couple more professors from India, Dr. Gupta and Dr. Shafali Gupta and Dr. Mr. Bharat Rajan, we just published, the research is coming, Gen AI uses in marketing, the prospects, perils, and policy implications. So what we are saying there is, yes, there are dangers. We identify what those dangers are, but we are also saying what policy implications have to be generated in different countries so that it has to be tackled as a combined effort from both the government, the company, and the consumers. So we lay out a roadmap for that. It's just coming out now. Next week, it should be available online.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's super insightful. We'll ask one more question, and I think it was around the KPIs and the metrics around now the marketing. I mean, I would imagine that would really be determined by the industry and what they're trying to accomplish. But has there been any type of modeling around KPIs around the transformative nature, or I would imagine it might be still iterative process? Any thoughts there?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of metrics and more than we really need. In fact, the whole idea for a marketer is to have on his or her screen the information of market share, where it is now, what they're aiming at, and then the metrics are constantly on the screen, the right metrics. And it has to do, for example, one metric is our market share growing? And the other is the value of our brand improving? There's a thing we call brand equity. We should have and by the way, you don't need to watch it change every day, not at all. You want to watch sales every day, of course, and profits. But some other things that are very important. You don't want your brand value to be slipping, but unseen, and it's slipping. You want to. So the key is that there are a lot of metrics. They have to be carefully chosen and visible to the users.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the magic word was used by Dr. Kotler, which is the metrics in this transformative era are value creation and value appropriation. So all these new age technologies we are deploying, how is it creating value and how fast it is creating value and whether it's creating the right value. So those are the areas. And then in value appropriation, is it guiding us to spend on the right customer, the right amount of money, or in the right product and in the right country? So value creation and value appropriation are the two most spoken words now in terms of the metrics that we are going to generate, focusing on.
That's helpful. That's super helpful. We have a number of other wonderful questions that we would love to get to today, and we will share the questions with our subject matter experts, Professor Dr. Kotler and Professor VK, and VK has shared that he will follow up as much as possible, even sharing a blog with us. So he'll sprinkle in some of those questions. So fear not. But this has been a tremendous topic. I am super excited and inspired by this talk. So thank you all so much for joining. We will share this video and send you an email as well as on YouTube. And with that, we just want to say thank you so much, Dr. Kotler and Professor VK. I can tell there's going to be way more to come in the future, and we look forward to learning more from you both going ahead. So thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you have a blessed day.